Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Thank you so much for being here. Today's reading is very special because it is in collaboration with my girl Monica over at Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. In honor of Mabon, we are actually doing a two-part reading when it comes to honoring the 29th degree and the 0 degree. So Monica is taking a look at what energies are your soul expanding, and I'm taking a look at what energies is your soul activating. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 with Stand in Your Power, group number 2 with Ascended Master, group number 3 Exploring Patience, and group number 4 with Bysoen Blockage. As we take a look at what energies are activating within your soul for you right now, please take a moment to pull out a journal or sit in a meditative state, or allow yourself to find what vibrates and resonates with you and be open to further activation and expansion as you check out your reading. As always, the timestamps are listed below in the description box, as well as your link to Monica's reading over on Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. So go check out that reading when you're done over here. I am so grateful and blessed to have you in my life, on my channel, in existence. And as always, I love you, and I'll see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading, where we're taking a look at what is your soul currently activating. You selected the first group with the Stand in Your Power card, and this is letting me know that you are coming into a new sense of self, a new confidence that's coming through not only love and gentleness, but also a steady, secure, confident, fiery energy. There's this energy of finding balance and moving forward from a place of integrating these two energies, one that is loving and soft and gentle, and one that is strong and fortuitous. And with this culmination of energies, what is activating is you feeling empowered, not in a way that is overtly human or overtly egoic, and also not in a way that is overly forceful or overly prideful, but in a way where you are confident that you are standing in your power, in a sense where it is neither under nor overstated, but you are aware and sure of every step that you are taking. Now, with the green here on this card, with the heart centered, this does kind of let me know that this is coming from a state of intention. It's coming from a place of intuition, of divine knowing. It's coming from a place of, I'm hearing, internal regulation. So what's activating for you right now is perhaps coming off of the other side of a long healing process, releasing some old energies that you held on to for a long time, or perhaps didn't serve you or didn't belong to you, and releasing these. And now what's activating is your true, authentic power. And I'm not saying you haven't been empowered. I'm not saying that you haven't been yourself. But what we're saying is that you are cracking back into that core of true you-ness, and it's strengthening, evolving, and stepping forward confidently. A lot of you are coming into some sense of location. This might be drawing you towards different sort of body awareness. For some of you, this might be leading you towards doing some galactic travel, some dimensional travel, some travel within your body or geographically. They're really showing me location being important. So this can be perhaps you taking a trip to a forest or to the seaside. This can also look like you noticing that maybe it's nice to spend a little more time on your right foot instead of your hips, or on your shoulders instead of your neck, or making sure that when you have 10 extra minutes, instead of sitting on the couch, you are relocating yourself to that bathtub or to your meditation cushion or something like this. Your the literal like orientation, your placement of your orientation is coming out. So there's this energy of where you are physically placed, standing in your power, knowing that you do not owe anybody anything. So there's this energy of perhaps not overextending yourself for others, but also being aware of what you do have to offer, which is a beautiful energy to be in, because that lets you give and receive freely. It lets you fly alongside others instead of not flying despite others or flying despite others. So this is a beautiful energy. Let's tap into your tarot cards and see what is your soul currently activating. I just keep hearing like fullness. Two of Swords and the King of Cups. Okay, there may have been some sort of question about what do you desire, what do you like, what do you love, what do you want? Maybe asking for somebody else to ask you these things. Perhaps knowing what these things are, but not knowing how to implement them in your life. This is what you're activating, this surety, this sureness, this power of, I know who I am, I know what I want, I know what I like, I know what I do not, I know what my intention is, I know what I have to offer, I know why I'm here, let's roll. And so I love this. Ace of Pentacles, this is an activation energy for sure, and this is going to have a lot to do with your physical realm. Okay, we do have a lot of material energies coming through here, which might surprise you, because I'm getting that you're taking more of a spiritual standpoint at this time, King and Queen of Pentacles, and what we have releasing is waiting for the right time. Kind of this this hot and cold energy, kind of this this energy that wants to be like restless energy that wants to get let out, and the expression of this. There's kind of this energy of something really exciting, or being so yin that you just swing into yang, or vice versa. This energy is being released. And so what you are activating right now is the true core of what was there. Instead of feeling like something needs to shake up and so you need to jump and shout and get excited, that would be a response to your feeling of the ability to be in that situation, instead of being more present. And so that is a heart-centered energy right there. It's kind of drawing attention to what's activating is not experiencing an overwhelm, perhaps, of emotions or of thought or of excitement when it comes to receiving what it is that you desire, letting yourself enjoy it, but not in a way where you are enjoying your reaction to enjoying it. You are actually enjoying it. So it's kind of taking out that middleman energy, which is quite interesting. It's kind of this clear layer of the heart, and they're drawing me to, in yogic science, there are 5 layers of the heart to purify the heart. And so that will come like that almost restless heart, or that excited heart, that comes as an energy that is shedding. And so what's activating is the purity beneath that. It is that that love, that wide-eyed wonder of an inner child, knowing who, what, when, where, why, how you are, knowing what you like. You don't need to really know anything other than that. And being honest and truthful from this, and not being all excited because you've lived an adult life that restricted these things from you. And so when you do receive something that you want or something that you like, the energy is not, oh my gosh, I'm finally getting what I want. The energy, that middleman energy, is being removed. So what's activating for you is this, it's this deep sense of not only surrender, but tranquility. This deep sense of intention, this deep sense of knowing. Perhaps some of you are feeling more connected with the angelic realm, perhaps with passed on loved ones. We do have the King and Queen of Pentacles. I know you want to know what this card is. I'll flip it over in a moment. And they're showing me that it's like, it's face to face with the Queen of Pentacles. They're almost kissing. And we do have a counterpart energy going on here. And underneath we have the 3 of Pentacles. So there's kind of this energy of what is activating for you is stepping into the truest expression of your authentic self, which seems to be a journey that you've been on for a while. However, the activation of this, the journey to get to that core center, has been completed. It's been closed out. So what is activating for you is actually that pure, raw, core essence of you, of your intention, of your, perhaps your soul's incarnation, of your soul's journey, of your human nature. All of these things, the rawest form of this energy, just as is coming through, which is really beautiful. So what is this card? We ask the 9 of Swords. Okay, we're also noticing that there's an activation of some sort of material abundance that's coming forward. Something in your material realm that would have been stressing you out specifically is being activated, which is interesting. It's showing up in the past position in the spread, which is beautiful to see. But group number 1, with you standing in your power, there's this energy that with this new activation releases the stress. And so whatever has been stressing you out the most in your material realm, whether it be perhaps friends or colleagues or finances or a physical home or geographical location or some sort of stability and grounded matter, there is this energy that you're going to be receiving more than enough. In fact, you have been receiving more than enough. And there's this energy of when you are used to being in survival mode or fight or flight for so long, after you no longer need to step out of that energy, it kind of takes a while to re-regulate your system. Instead of, like, you'll go through a period where you are really tired. And even though it's okay now, you're doing fine now, you don't just spring back up. I mean, some people do, but you don't just always spring back up and everything is all fine and dandy the next day. This is giving you've done this self-regulation process. And so now what you're activating is the active awareness of the root cause of this stress, and replacing it with tranquility, with ease, with allowing yourself to know and honor the fact that you know what you like, you know who you are, you know why you're here, and there's a new beginning ahead. Not only is there a new beginning, but you've already taken a couple steps in this chapter. And just because you were not able to see the way that it was activating, you were preparing for it nonetheless, because you were following your guidance. So it's activating now as it's coming more to the forefront into your physical realm, and you're getting to experience the excitement of it without feeling the reverberation of your own excitement coming back around. They're showing me, it's like saying affirmations in the mirror and then feeling the excitement of the fact that you're saying affirmations in the mirror instead of just receiving the affirmations that you're saying. And that's kind of what is activating for you right now. And then with the Eight of Wands too, you might be surprised that some of you, if you wanted to perhaps journey, they're bringing me to journeying meditation, but we do have a lot of pentacles here. So if you've wanted to perhaps visit somebody, go on a vacation, if you've wanted to make strides in perhaps a creative passion of yours in your spiritual journey, in your material realm, now is the time where this is going to be activating. If you've been waiting for a, I'm hearing like boom pow moment, if you've been waiting for a moment where everything just explodes, this is coming up in your near future. And this is going to be part of this expansion because you're not going to be set off by the reverberation of your reaction to this happening. It's not really a fight or flight, survivalism, respond versus react energy at all whatsoever. It is this things happen and they pass through you, and that is ease, and that is intentional, and that is perfect. And you know what you like, you know why you're here, you know what you're doing. So it comes with the standing in your power, this assuredness. And I actually really love that this Nine of Swords is coming out, because this is letting me know that you might be having some sort of spiritual or dream experiences that are leading you through old energies that might have been stressful for you to deal with in the past. And what's activating is you looking at these energies and saying, no, I do not claim this. This no longer resonates with me. I will not fall for that. I know that it's not true. It's kind of showing you exactly what you are and exactly what you are not, or exactly what you've already learned. And it's kind of, in a way, showing you the beauty behind both how far you've grown, but also the kind of stress and anxieties that aren't in your life anymore. And it's kind of this really beautiful energy that's almost inviting the old shadows that once were in to sit around at the table with you and invite them all for a meal, instead of harnessing them or diving into them or working with them and trying to figure out what the lesson is, because this is all done. They've been out for a while. You've been cleansed for a while. You took that resting period after everything was okay again. And now you are sure, you're standing in your power, and you're almost inviting these shadow energies to sit at your table, not inviting them into your life, not giving them an opinion, but merely letting them exist, letting them be where they are, and letting yourself move forward through tranquility, through rest, through ease, through spiritual guidance anyway. And so this soul activation of yours, I'm hearing someone say, I know I'm enough. I know I have enough. I know the universe will provide. I know that I can say what I'm here to say. I know that I can do what I'm here to do. I can go where I'm meant to go. And I know what resonates with me, because I know that I can trust what I do and do not like. And this is a beautiful, really strong energy. And we also have this energy of not doing it alone either. And here's that rough patch, okay? That rough patch of perhaps trust. There's a June bug outside my window, okay, flying north. So that can be significant for some of you. This has a lot to do with moving forward in your connections. So you might be noticing that what's activating for you right now is a new wave of, I'm hearing devotees, of confidants, of trustees, of friends, of family members, of peers, people who will, look, we have 33 mastery within the middle, needing to get to those rough waters, get through those rough waters on the inside, with 33 coming out Pentacles and Cups, both cards of teamwork, cards of celebration, cards of success, cards of group joy and victory. This is understanding that once you are over the response or the reaction of negative things happening to you, and the two are not the same, we react and then we learn that we should be responding, and then we learn that there's no need to respond. And then it kind of brings this sense of ease. So what's activating is a large amount of abundance, but you'll notice that there's kind of this trail of abundance that perhaps it strikes you and it strikes somebody else who has been through the same journey, or who honors where you're at, or who you resonate with strongly. And so you're noticing that there's kind of this teamwork makes a dream work, like I'm winning and you're winning too. And we're not winning because of each other. We're not winning because we know each other. We're not winning with or without each other. We're merely winning parallel to each other. And what I mean by this is that there's this sense of ease and tranquility that cannot be faltered, that can no longer be shaken, that cannot be taken away. It cannot be reactive. It cannot be responsive. It is merely in existence, and it is beautiful, and it is tranquil, and it is ease. And this is what you're activating. And with this ease comes a sense of power. It's this knowing that you cannot be shaken, and that is inner peace. That's also power. And it's not coming from an ego. It is coming from love, but it's not coming from, I love you, so I have to give what I have. But it is coming from, I love you and you can't shake me. So here's something I have to offer, knowing that you have something to offer, and also knowing that you don't have to. And so here is this forward movement that is coming as a result of this inner peace, of this letting yourself play perhaps a little bit, diving into creative passions for some of you, without I am so excited that I'm sitting down playing the piano, and then you're all excited about it, and then it kind of gives you this energy of a short burn, kind of like a sparkler, instead of like a really well-built bonfire. And so what we're looking for is that long, eternal, self-sustaining fire that burns from within, which is the energy that you're stepping into. It's a tranquil fire. It's not a wildfire. It's not a fast-burning fire that just eats through what's there. It is instead divine fire. They're showing me the violet flame, this temperance, literal temperance, this balance, this divine guidance. And so this is what's activating for you. You might notice that you are having more guides come online. You might notice that you are having more friends come into your life. You might notice that all of these beautiful things are coming into your life right now. And it's because what your soul is activating is not just everything is love, everything is good, everything is grateful, everything is perfect. It's everything is. And then having that resting period of just really decompressing everything, of really just letting that nervous system drain and relax and be and find tranquility and power, that dynamic, the tranquility that you get from standing in your power, the power that you receive from being in tranquility. It is that dynamic there that is activating for you. And it's going to be really, really beautiful as it cultivates, because remember that Monica is pulling what you're expanding and I'm pulling what you're activating. So this is just the beginning of this road. And that is something that might have a tendency to make you really excited. But notice that you might feel less of an inclination towards that excitement. It is merely an inhale and an exhale, an inner knowing and a yes. Okay. It is time. And so now we step into these wands energies. Now we step into the cause for the excitement, the cause for the smiles, all these beautiful energies. But that foundation is not shakable. It's not a fire that is following whatever there is to burn around it. It is instead a flame that might expand or shrink, but it is always central. It is always constant. It is that eternal flame, which is beautiful. And we do have forward movement coming here too. Eight of Wands can also indicate sometimes a spiritual awakening, especially conjoining the Knight of Wands and the Temperance. So what are you activating? Here's that Queen of Wands. Okay. Some of you are activating more, I'm hearing arcane knowledge specifically. 'Tis that time of the year, regardless of when you're watching this, so as this is a timeless reading. What your soul is activating is understanding the relativity behind all arcane knowledge. Understanding the relativity behind everything that you've known up until this point, because in a universe it is right, and in a universe it is wrong, and in a universe it is just right, and the same goes for everything. Everything is not only perfect, but it is. And so what's activating is you stepping into the luckiest part of your life up until this point, because it's merely following the flow. It's following the ease, but it's also following that high vibrational energy without it carrying up with it the fire from your solar plexus. without it carrying with it the excitement of finally being there. And that's not to say you don't get to experience positive, happy emotions. You certainly do. But it's also indicating that you can look at this Nine of Swords energy, you can invite that shadow to sit at your table and look at it, and that will make you feel happy and tranquil and beautiful, and not in a weird sadistic way, but in a way where you look at everything and it makes you smile. It makes you grateful. And so, when you have these positive things happening, this is no exception. And it merely just is. And you're not taking with it that sense of inflammation as beautiful or as divine and as explosive or as gentle as it might be. It is this choice to honor things from the inside out. And so this is going to come with this deep sense of trust, this deep sense of perhaps almost a larger range of emotions, but the emotions within that range feel more like clear, more purified, and they're drawing me back again to the 5 stages of the heart. And those 5 stages of the heart are first dark, then propelled, then steady, then devoted, and then clean and pure. So, as you notice that your heart is evolving, your heart is activating, you feel less reactive and more at peace. You also feel very tranquil, but also what's activating is in the material realm, more abundance than you could ever want, seek, need, or desire. And I'm not just blowing smoke. The reason for that is because that is no longer what you seek. You do not need anything, you do not want anything, you do not require anything. Everything merely is. And it is beyond perfect, it's beyond exciting, it merely is. And so are you, and that is the way. And so with this will come a lot more knowledge and a lot more wisdom. It will also come with it a lot more bliss. And the way that this manifests in your day-to-day life will be slow, steady, tempered, pure, and beautiful. They're showing me someone like holding a cup in their hands and taking very small sips of their favorite warm beverage and just really like, and it's an ever-flowing cup. There's always more than enough. You never feel full. You never have to pee. And you're always just able to take one sip of that perfectly tasted, perfectly temperatured, like energy. And this is that purification. This is that activation that you're stepping into. It's an activation, but it's not woohoo, it's an activation. It's an activation of release. And that's beautiful. And I love this for you. So group number 1, that is what your soul is currently activating. If you want to take a look at what your soul is expanding upon right now, go check out Monica's reading down at Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. The link to her reading will be down in the description box. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and I love what I do, and I love connecting with you guys, and it helps me do it more. With that being said, I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. I'm sending you all the love, light, and gratitude in the universe, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Namaste. Hi there, group number 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what your soul is activating right now. You selected the second group and the Ascended Masters card. This is beautiful. What your soul is currently activating, they're showing me this beautiful golden sparkly healing light, and this is a green and blue card, so this lets me know that you're going to be expressing love in a new way. Now, of course, it's going to be different for all of you depending on where you're at in your life and what it is you have going on your soul's path, but there's a dragonfly flying outside my window, which is letting me know that this is going to have to do with some sort of connection or communion with a divine frequency, a divine energy. If you're interested, the divine frequency is 963 hertz. But this is actually really giving me the energy of awakening to some sort of divine gift. For example, when some people sing or channel light language or play an instrument at the divine frequency. When this is a divine gift where you are tapping in directly to source in order to present this, which means that the frequency behind whatever this is that you are expressing through love is coming from none other than golden source healing light. which is beautiful. And I love this for you, group number 2. So this is the first message about what your soul is activating right now with the Ascended Master card. You yourself may be an Ascended Master. You may be stepping into this part of consciousness, or you may be working really closely with Ascended Masters. We have Ascended Masters in my particular like yoga satsang line. Jesus is an Ascended Master. Krishna is an Ascended Master. Mahavatar Babaji is an Ascended Master. Even Kali is an Ascended Master. So regardless of what belief system you use, and of course we're not talking about idolatry here, we're talking about manifestations of consciousness just like you or me, and tapping into different fractals of that energy, but that awareness is something that's coming through as well. So we do have a connection with Ascended Mastery on your own end, or Ascended Masters, or perhaps both. Some of you may be being guided by Ascended Masters in the spiritual realms right now. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune with the 7 of Wands at the back of the deck. I'm going to take it because I feel called. Knight of Pentacles beneath that. So what your soul is currently activating is stepping into this knowing that you are headed in the right direction. And this might seem a little bit vague, but it has to do with your consciousness. Trusting that your consciousness is going in the right direction. Now, you can go as far up as you want to go, but then you can still go out. You might go as far out as you possibly want to go, and you can still go diagonally. You can go diagonally as far as you want, and you can still go spherically. You can create an entire circle, and there's still somewhere else to expand to. So this is saying that you are going in the right direction with your spiritual evolution. So not to let this stress you out. Okay, there's kind of an indication that your soul is activating some perhaps truths that might, your soul might be activating some truths that might cause you to second guess certain parts of yourself, certain things that you identify with or as, certain truths that you have believed to be true for a long time. We have these falling under the solar plexus, so something that might, we also have kind of an energy of perhaps either an ego death or perhaps an energy of coming back into who, what, when, where, why, how you truly are, and that is divine. It is divine frequency. And so with this, you are channeling the universe through you, source through you, through your actions, through your voice, through your art, through whatever it is that you're doing. And it's actually reminding me of a friend and colleague of mine who we've been having just the most amazing channeling experiences working on a project. And I also have the same kind of connection with Monica too. So there's definitely this energy of I'm getting like divine channeling, and whether this is coming through as a singing voice or as poetry or as a painting or as channeling messages or as drawings, however this is coming out for you, there is just this expansion of consciousness that's occurring. And they're showing me now the blue cosmic consciousness light, which is beautiful. And when you tap in with cosmic consciousness, this blue light, it can often challenge your perspective of what golden light was. Just as when you tap in with golden light, it might challenge your perspective of what white light is. Such as when you open up to crystalline light, it might challenge your perspective of what blue light is. And so there are all these different understandings and refractions, and there's kind of this energy here where what your soul is activating is to trust in your messages. Trust that you know what you're doing and you have, and that there's always a new rabbit hole to go down. So what your soul is activating right now is releasing perhaps knowing everything, or releasing not having clarity and understanding that you know everything and you don't at the same time. It's reminding me of this song by Kanon called Take a Minute. Any man who knows a thing knows he knows not a dang thing at all. But at the same time, putting that into perspective, we are all part of divine consciousness. And so as you channel divine frequency, you are the universe experiencing the universe. You are the universe choosing to consciously act regardless of where you are at in your own consciousness journey as an individual. And so you are never really unconscious. You are never really unawake. And even as you continue to awaken, you're kind of at this place where you are recognizing how aware the perhaps subconscious parts of you really truly have been. Or you could be activating how much you've known this entire time and maybe brushed it off because it was maybe not a big deal to you or you were used to it. There's kind of this aha moment of self-realization of knowing that you really do have it all figured out, but you also really don't need to have it all figured out. And so this activation moment, it's this beautiful energy of like crystallization, if I will say so myself, and it's this crystallization of golden light and blue light specifically, which is beautiful. And those are the two channels that are intersecting the heart chakra here, which is the first color that came out for your reading. So we're really taking a look at those core energies of your heart, and they're showing me as well the astral body and the etheric template. So as you are tapping in perhaps with different layers of your aura, different aspects of your consciousness, you might want to look at the pancha koshas, the 5 sheaths is what they're called in Ayurveda, the 5 sheaths of consciousness. You'll be able to understand what part of you is flowing when and where. And when you are on your ascension journey and you are traveling that light beam from the ground all the way up to source, you can also go from source out. You can go from source up, you can go from source down, you can go from the root to the crown to the root. There's larger than this, there's smaller than this, so on and so forth. There is this energy of grand relativity, but also grand expansion that you are activating right now. It's this energy that everything is just as small as it is big, just as the theme of this reading is as above, so below. What is macro is micro, and micro is macro. Therefore, you are trusting in the details that are right in front of your face because they are just as expansive as they need to be. And you are trusting in the large grandiosity of the understandings and awakenings and things that you're channeling because every single detail is perfect. Because thus is the way of the universe, and it cannot and will not ever be any other way. What your soul is activating is a clear channel tapped right into source, tapped right into golden healing light, tapping right into life source energy, prana, chi. Some of you may be practicing pranayama. Some of you might be re-exploring or exploring for the first time what that truly means. And one of these things that's activating for you is this space of pure consciousness that is truly cognizant, that is above what we might consider to be voluntary or involuntary. And this is really beautiful because there is really nothing in the universe that is truly one or the other. Everything is pure consciousness, even though we might always not perceive it to be as such. And just as much as we know what's going on and we feel conscious, there is always so much more occurring behind the scenes. So it really is this literal theory of relativity where what's micro is macro and macro is micro, and we all experience it differently. We all experience time and space in different ways. So what your soul is currently activating is a raw tap right into source, right into the divine cosmic wave of existence, of consciousness. And if you're already a channel, if you already have this clear channel going on, it's this strengthening, it's this reactivation, it's this expansion of this energy, really just utilizing your heart as a portal and letting your rational mind and your verbal expression also honor this too. You might notice that at this time, you feel a little bit less inclined to use perhaps swear words or to use diminishing self-talk. You might notice at this time that larger concepts seem to be making more sense. You might find yourself wanting to learn or study or having an easier time understanding like tidbit type knowledge right now because it comes from a greater understanding that what's macro is micro. And when you understand the macro, it makes perfect sense in the micro. And when you understand the micro, it makes perfect sense in the macro. And so what you're really looking at right now is your soul activating that true energy that lies within everything, that true energy that is the consciousness between, what is the difference between what's big and what's small? It is perception, it is consciousness. What is that energy that is in between the vessel that is singing the divine frequency and the divine frequency itself? It is merely consciousness. And so this is what you're activating. It is literally a higher state of consciousness. It is perhaps cosmic consciousness, super consciousness, what people might call Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness. There are different layers of consciousness, and you might be actually experiencing that consciousness chart. You might find it coming out as well. They're also showing me like they have grand awakening maps, but everyone's is a little bit different. So you might also be channeling your own. I'm also hearing human design. So while there are human design maps and you can use that to learn more about you, it is also important. Your soul is activating right now your sense of sovereignty when it comes to that divinity. And what is that space in between? It's truly that consciousness. It's tapping in with pure consciousness. And that allows you to be in any perspective that you desire. And so honoring your pure sovereignty and almost giving it up to source in a way where you know that you are channeling divine frequency, in a way that even when you are the one steering the wheel, you know that consciousness, purity, love, source, light is the one steering the wheel. And there's this energy of the only difference is, yes, consciousness, but it's also how personal the energy is to you. For example, your perspective of a song, like a song in general, like the topic of a song might be not very personal, or the topic of light, that's not very personal. But the topic of you, the understanding of you, the things that are closest to you in this world, the things that are close to your heart, literally, that is as personal as it gets. And so there's this energy that the only difference is, again, relativity. It is understanding that what is near is far, what is far is near, what is macro is micro, what's above is below. And that is, of course, the theme of this reading today. And so what's activating in your soul is this grand awakening, and it's literally this leveling up of consciousness, where you're able to connect even more dots than you've had connected already. And it's going to give you an opportunity to be able to express this in a manner of divine frequency that is oh so personal to you and oh so translatable as nothing other than divine. And this may eliminate the difference in your perspective between what is you and what is not you, between what is personal, what is impersonal, what is near, what is far, perhaps time, perhaps space. And this is normal. Allow it to evolve. Allow it to shift your perspective or unfold and open up your perspective. Allow yourself to embrace all that is. And with that, continue to keep love in your heart and as the focus of your intention. So that is all I have for you, group number 2. Thank you so much for being here today. That is what your soul is currently activating. For more messages, feel free to check out another pile, and to see what your soul is currently expanding upon, go check out Monica's video linked in the description box below over at Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. As always, I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. I'm sending you all the love, light, and gratitude in all of the universes, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, miraculous, divine realm. I love you. Thank you for being here, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe because it helps me out a lot, and I love what I do. So I'll see you next time, and namaste. Hi there, group number 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we are taking a look at what is your soul currently activating, and you selected the third group with exploring patience. And this is actually quite adorable because the image that Spirit is showing me is a rubber band snapping back. There is something that you have started or gone back to. Since we have the rubber band analogy, there's kind of this boomerang energy showing up where you are willing to put one foot in front of the other, be slow, be patient, and just go with the flow. Allow time to pass, allow your experience to happen. Explore the patience. And this is actually creating some sort of cosmic explosion energetically, where this rubber band is released, it snaps back. Now, I used to actually channel an image similar to this about a year ago in my channel. I would come through all the time with like a slingshot, okay, where you pull the rubber band back, and then as soon as you let go, it is not the rubber band itself, but it is what is propelled from the rubber band. And it's the moment that you let go that you pick up the speed. And the amount of resistance that you experience is also directly proportional to the speed. So this energy is coming out too. It's this patience. It's that pulling the arrow back. It's that pulling the slingshot back, pulling the rubber band, and taking that breath, finding that moment of stillness, of calm, and then phew, letting it go, and it exploding, something being huge. And so this is giving perhaps something that you thought maybe was a bit stagnant, or something that you thought was going to just take a long time. Being ready, willing, and able to put one foot in front of the other, and also trust that you'll make progress over time. This is something like reading a word a day, and then realizing that it doesn't take you that long to finish a book, or that it's something that you've done before, or something that you've experienced because you already know how to shoot the arrow, you already know how to pull the slingshot. So this is giving, getting back into shape really quickly. This can be mind, body, spirit, but in terms of what your soul is activating right now with exploring patience, this is giving, you are kind of swapping the internal and external energies. Energy moves super, super, super fast, and space moves super, super, super slow. Like material realm is very, very slow, and energy is always moving and it's super fast, which is why alchemization works really easily. When you shift a ton of energies inside, you realize that it's easier to make moves in the physical. And what your soul is activating is actually this deep sense of calmness inside. It is this deep sense of patience, of going with the flow, of showing up for your daily meditation, showing up for your yoga, showing up for your qigong, showing up for your channeling sessions, whatever it is for you. And the material realm alchemizing super fast and shifting quick in order to adjust to this new energy. Some people might call this timeline hopping, others might call this manifestation, some might call it quantum shifting, but whatever word you use for it, whatever level of understanding or whatever vibrational comfortability you have with this term, this is that moment of deciding that your intention, your center, your patience, your showing up every single minute, that slow and steady wins the race. If I want to save some money, let's start with a penny. I'm just going to move 1 penny today, and I did it today. That's it. That's good. But eventually knowing that when you think it might take you 5 days to make 5 pennies, you might realize that the next day, because you started this journey, you find a $100 bill on the floor. And what your soul is activating is this sense of reverberation, where your material realm, where the physical realm is moving very quickly because you're taking spiritual strides. Because the areas of life that have not been moving as fast are about to speed up. And the areas of life that required your patience, it is there. And it's not there with a mindset of, I have to be patient. It's there with the mindset of, look at me, I'm smelling the roses. This is my intention. Patience is beautiful. I love my life. I'm putting a penny over here today. It's just this beautiful energy of like soaking up the sun. They're showing me a hummingbird like drinking the nectar out of a flower. So these beautiful things are coming up with this exploring patience card. And this is really showing that your soul is activating, finding the beauty in the little things, the beauty in life. And this inward knowing, this inward experience shifting, I'm hearing miracles in your external realm. So this is your first message about what your soul is currently activating. Let's get into your tarot. There's kind of this essence of because you don't want, because you don't need, then you have. And because you are patient, things are fast. And again, they keep showing me like a boomerang or a slingshot or a magnet. And so there are going to be beautiful things that are coming into your life. And as far as soul activation, this might have a lot to do with they're showing me like a Merkaba or a soul grid or something like this of souls that are scattered around that might belong to what some people will call your soul family. I know everyone doesn't resonate with that term. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Understand the analogy. There is this divine connection that is coming into your life. And so your soul is activating perhaps your place on earth. They're showing me ley lines, okay, and like monoliths and ancient sites, and they're showing me like scattered grids of light beings and all of these beautiful ideas, okay? So what your soul is activating is perhaps this can be grid work. This can be being patient. This can be trusting that a little bit of effort today makes a big difference tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But it's also strengthening your intuition. It's activating trusting that you're in the right place at the right time, but also understanding why certain things are happening when they were. They're showing me kind of this this comet, which is actually interesting because there is a comet passing on the day that this reading is being posted. They're showing me a comet, how it takes up this amount of energy and then it's over here, and then it's over here, and it leaves behind this stream of energy as it pushes forward. And there's kind of this Four of Pentacles energy, understanding why there is this build up here. And it's carried forward here, but not back here. And like this energy, it's almost presenting itself as a comet with this Four of Pentacles. That energy that is compiled or perhaps held back or moving slow, it is actually making a large difference as this large mass moves through the sky. So they're showing me this. Comets can be significant for you as well. We do have this energy of seeing what is beneath the surface, understanding that it's all in cycles, it's all in due time. And with this, it draws a sense of patience. If you want to release something and you're working with the lunar cycles, it gives you a time period and your energy can act accordingly. If you are waiting for the hummingbirds, you have to know where they're going to be and what season to look out for and what flowers to hang around or what bird feeders to hang and all of these kinds of things. There is this divine element where your soul is activating, understanding why things have manifested exactly how they have. And this can have to do with your, perhaps, human nature. This can have to do with your soul's origin. This can have to do with the progression of your spiritual self. This can have to do with you getting back into shape physically, or perhaps getting back into certain practices, understanding that yes, there is an ebb and a flow to everything, and that there is more of a conscious process behind it than you've currently thought. And because of this, you are exploring patience. but also because of that, things are moving quickly now. It's like the comet seems to move faster the closer it gets to Earth, when in reality, it has literally traveled light years in order for it to access us, most likely. So there is this really beautiful reading that's coming through about your soul activating why it's creating what it is, so that you kind of don't need to put as much creative liberty into it because you are merely snapping back the rubber band. There's this energy of, I've done this before, so I can do this again. This energy of, I'm telling myself what I need to know. There's this energy of trusting that when it comes to your path ahead, if you keep on sniffing out the answers, or if you listen to that inner guidance, if you have patience, if you put one foot in front of the other, you'll understand why the flowers are pointing towards the sun. And you'll understand how to feel which direction the breeze is going. And this will heighten your awareness. And so what your soul is activating right now is the sense of ease, the sense of slowness, the sense of heightened awareness. But with this, it's actually helping you to carve out your path in a way where you are already on it, and you have been, but you're understanding now the timing, you're understanding the pace, and because you don't have timing attached to it, because you don't have a pace attached to it, you merely are just noticing that you're making strides. You are looking at that flower while you were walking, and oh, you're already past that flower. Instead of, I can't wait to get to that flower, and then you pass the flower and the flower is gone. Same energy, different approach. This one is exploring patience, and it's activated, it's further activated. And with this, we're bringing in more subliminal energies too. So we may be exploring a little bit of past, present, future, parallel lifetimes. We might be exploring timeline work here. We might be exploring alchemy. We might be exploring co-creation. We did have manifestation, intention, quantum shifting, things like this coming into perspective, because you are creating from within. You are understanding what minute details play into other things that might seem to be disconnected. And with that being the case, you are understanding how even when you move from a decisive place, you are still being guided. And with that, there's this energy here of making a decision. And so we'll take a look at what that is too. Your soul seems to be activating some sort of large crossroads, not really crossroads, but a large pivot point that you've been waiting on for a while. It seems that you've had intuitive clarity that it would come to this, but that you've needed to build a foundation in order to sustain it. This can be, for example, awakening spiritually, so much so that you need to strengthen your body. So you have to show up every day so that your body can sustain the vibration that your soul is harnessing. It can also be the other way around. This can be something like you having a specific practice in your life. Maybe you really like to pray, maybe you really like to paint. But if you are not learning more, if you are not making sure that your hand is steady, if you are not learning your color theory, if you're not learning how to draw different shapes or going back to your basics, then it's going to show. There's kind of this energy here where you've been exploring your patience and you've been just sticking to the basics. You have been being patient, putting one foot in front of the other, but it's actually activating this large expansion within you that you've already known was there. You already knew you were a good painter. You already knew you were a spiritual, expansive, beautiful, conscious being. You already knew you were a spiritual or psychic or an amazing manifester. But now the wheel is spinning. And I mean that in like a literal way. Now the energies are shifting around you because they've already shifted within you. And when you stopped that axis point, it started spinning outside of you. Think of if you have a wheel on the outside and it's connected to a wheel on the inside, and the wheel on the inside is spinning, the moment that you stop that wheel on the inside, the wheel on the outside starts spinning. And you can see that as your internal and external realm. They're working like this in tandem with each other. And with you hitting the brakes, we keep having this inspiration, this realization, this spiritual awakening coming up. You're opening up into huge gifts and abilities that are going to affect your material realm. You can be opening up to gifts and abilities where you can affect the material realm. Not just manifesting, not just magnetizing things, not just having a general intention and getting lost out there in the ether, but actual quantum shifting, because you are quantum entangled to anything that you can fathom. And you have that patience. and that divine understanding to go along with it, that consciousness expanding, that internal work. We have the Two of Wands, Three of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Queen of Cups, Five of Wands, and the Three of Wands. Group number 3, your soul is activating, putting you where it's been leading you towards this entire time. This is learning about yourself so you understand what's going on outside of you, instead of the other way around. But as you learn about yourself and you select what to put in there, you are also selecting the experience that you have externally. And your relationship between those two things, you can affect that as well. And this is where this Page of Swords come out with the Three of Pentacles. You're seeing how everything is woven together so intricately. And it's going to have you receiving positive things. It's going to have you realizing that the Empress, she is portrayed as a pregnant woman. How she is a mother, she is nurturing, she is a powerhouse. She is usually portrayed in tarot culture as like a queen, not like the Queen of Cups or Wands or Swords, but like she is the Empress. But what she really is a pregnant woman. She represents the earth, she represents Gaia. And it's very true, but it's less about the fact that she's the Empress and more about the fact that she is beautiful because she is putting extra energy towards growing something inside of her that will eventually be birthed into creation and manifest. This is the card of quantum shifting. This is the card of divine manifestation, of true patience. Now, there is this huge energy too. We have 5 and 3 of Wands, which is an 8 of Wands with the 2 of Swords. There's a little bit of things perhaps moving and changing faster than you might be comfortable with. But your soul is activating. Your soul, your inherent being, is the reason why all these shifts are taking place externally. So, the advice that's coming through here for you, group number 3, is what you've been waiting for, what you've been wanting, what you've been working towards, what you've been striving and then pulling back and then wanting and then figuring out and everything, all that you've been working towards, mind, body, spirit, these huge shifts are going to be coming in like a flash, like a comet, like waking up the next day and things are different. They're going to be happening really quickly. And so your advice is that while everything around you is shifting, make sure that you are staying centered. Because notice that analogy that came out earlier, when everything outside of you seemed to be still or slow, inside was what was spinning. Inside was what was processing. It's what was moving so quickly, what you were doing the work. And now, as this is stabilizing, as it's patient, as this is solidifying, things outside of you are spinning. So make sure that you're staying still internally. Make sure that you're coming back to center. Make sure that you are treating yourself with the respect that you would treat a pregnant mother with. Make sure that you are giving yourself grace, gentleness, kindness, because there are big changes coming in your life. And when you get caught up in the minutia of the day-to-day life in the physical realm, it's not always comfortable. Sometimes you're like, what am I supposed to do with all of this? But you know that it's heading in the right direction. And so pay less attention to the direction and more attention to the flowers, more attention to that internal feeling, to what you are cultivating inside. This is where that patience that you're having is turning into that slingshot. This is where it's that rubber band bouncing back into shape. And this is where things are going a lot easier for you than you might be perceiving because you've done the internal work. But continue to do the internal work, but continue to hold a steadfast intention and a steadfast heart and vibration at this time. Because what your soul is activating is so much information that is coming as a result of all of this work. And your material realm is changing too as a result of all this work. So what's activating for you is actually a larger level of understanding, perhaps reading the signs and synchronicities, of being able to achieve those goals, of being able to utilize those gifts and abilities that you have in the spiritual and psychic realms, being able to increase and grow in abundance of them, of your consciousness, of your understanding, of your gifts specifically is coming out. And with this, there are going to be a lot of changes. And your job is to stay focused on what you are growing within, to continue to explore patience, and not to think that because things are finally moving really quickly, that your job is to move really quickly, because it's actually quite the opposite. And trust that this is leading you towards your success, towards your luck, towards your bliss, and towards something that you get to tend to and nurture in a way that feels right, it feels beautiful, and you feel like you already know what to do with it when it shows up. It is merely this energy of the future looking so much different than it does right now that might be creating a little bit of energies that might be a bit uncomfortable. But again, we have the 3 and 5 of wands, which is the 8 of wands, which is just quick movement. It's expression, it's forward movement, it's travel, it's communication. And that with the Page of Swords indicates that there might be some sort of connection or communication that's in the present moment that might be having a larger effect on your external realm than you're currently thinking. But this is about what your soul is activating, not about sneaky little things that are encoded in your reality, but you are learning how to read and understand those too. And that is why this is coming up. That is why this is appearing. It is seeing those little fractal pieces within the particles of the veil in front of your face. It is understanding the refractions of light when you crunch them in and you have pressure and you create a diamond, or when you unfold them and you see the crystalline structure underneath. Or when you take that diamond, you shine light right through it, and then it lets you to see into the crystalline, but not directly. Look at it from a third vantage point, creating a trine. And so these are the different types of understandings that you're coming into. How everything is really woven together. Being able to, in a more deep and aware, awakened sense, see how everything is literally coded within the universe. How if you have learned how to read binary code, you can read binary code. If you know HTML, you can read HTML. If you know the 78 tarot cards, you can read them when they're just shuffled in a different order. But this is larger. This is all of the universe. And so the more that you know yourself, the more that you know everything around you, and the more that you have patience with yourself, the easier things around you will flow. And that is what is occurring for you right now. That is what your soul is activating. There is one more thing that wants to be brought to your attention here. And this is that you might be noticing that your manifestation skills, your ability to create occurrences and affect your material realm, are going to be activating and strengthening hugely at this time. So with that being said, please make sure that you are crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and reading the fine print before you are deciding to bring something into fruition. Just as you would want to prepare for bringing that child into the world in a perfect world where you have all of the information beforehand, you have all of the books you could want, you have all of the information, you get to read all of it just in the way that you would tend to yourself when you are creating something, and the way that you would treat yourself or a pregnant person. Treat yourself with that way. Make sure that you are crossing the T's, dotting the I's, reading the fine print before you're bringing something into fruition, because your intention and manifestation quantum shifting skills are super activating at this point, and you will notice that they are stronger than they've been before. So if this has already blown your mind in a certain way, make sure that you are expecting that to increase, because there is a reason why you're being given this gift, and that's encoded in here too. And so this is activating. With that being said, though, I am going to reference you down to Monica's reading about what is expanding from your soul right now, because I have a feeling that that might be something you want to look into. Her reading is linked down below in the description box, as well as all the rest of my information for personals and Reiki and my books and jewelry and all that good stuff. But that is all I have for you, Group 3, about what your soul is currently activating. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. As always, I'm sending you so much love, light, and gratitude. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It helps me keep making content, and I love what I do, and I love tapping into these energies, and I love connecting with you guys. So thank you as always. I love you as always, and I'll see you next time as always. Namaste. Hi there, Group 4. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I am channeling what your soul is currently activating. So you selected the 4th group with the Bysoen blockage card. Now this is actually really interesting. Just so you know, I'm not getting that there's a blockage in your energy field, but you might feel as though there's an obstacle in your path, or that there is something that you are trying to maybe perceive your way through. And what I'm getting is that what's activating for you is that you're shifting your focus. They're showing me that there are perhaps traffic cones on either side of a path, and you are looking at a traffic cone, maybe to the right a little bit, and you are veering to the right a little bit. You're looking at the traffic cone, but if you just shift your gaze a little bit, you might notice that you're on a clear, wide open path. There is a traffic cone there, but I'm getting to tell you that this isn't as big of a deal. It's not really an obstacle. There is merely a shift of perspective, and it's not saying that you need to change your mind about something or make a different decision. It is saying that just to draw your focus away from what you're currently looking at, and it will show you something else. This is kind of activating abundance mindset, which is actually a beautiful perspective that Spirit's giving me right now. Going from a lack to abundance mindset, going from an obstacle to an opportunity mindset, going from, is it a blockage or is it a traffic cone mindset? And with Bysoen, this is a term of Reiki, which is a way where we can energetically feel how an energy is flowing through us. For example, if something is hot, it means that there is a serious problem going on. If something feels a little bit tingly, it means that something is really not that big of a deal, but that it's processing. If something is there sometimes, but not all the time, it means that there's just an energy that you're processing very, very subtly, and so on and so forth. If something is warm versus if something is hot, it indicates the amount of perhaps stagnation, inflammation, the seriousness of the problem, and a little bit of pulsing means that there's something that is on its way out, and that will be something that shows up intermittently. Here we are looking at Bysoen. We are looking at how to identify the different types of traffic cones that you have in your path, where you're able to see through your internal guidance, okay, this one is letting me know to veer a little bit to the right. This one's letting me know to practice my affirmations. And perhaps this one is letting me know that I should be paying more or less attention to something in specific. Maybe you feel a lot of compression in your chest, and maybe it's a sign that you need to inhale or exhale, or just practice your breathing. Or perhaps drain your lymphatic system, drain your nervous system. This is taking what might be perceived as a blockage or an obstacle or a mere traffic cone and shifting that perspective to open up the path. See, what is it that you can implement here, not to face something head on and push through it, but in fact to utilize it to the best of its ability. Maybe you are telling yourself that you will be amazing after a nap. Maybe you're telling yourself that you will be amazing if you maybe pay a little bit more attention to this lovingly, gently, caringly. And that is all we're looking at today. What your soul is activating right now is identifying the clues, and instead of it being a hit or a miss, you honoring what you are seeing and providing yourself with the opposite. If you're looking at a traffic cone, look for where there's a wide open space. If you're looking at stress, look at the things that calm you down. If you're looking at lethargy, look at the things that energize you, and so on and so forth. This is where we love using our healing modalities. This is where we love using things like pranayama. We love using things like Ayurveda, like Chinese medicine, like Reiki. This is all where we love doing what we do. This is the reason why I started Spiritualistic. This is where you can see something, and instead of seeing it as an obstacle or a blockage, because energy is always moving and flowing, there's never really actually a blockage of energy. And I know that's a hot take, but there is always a realm, there is always a perspective, there is always a timeline, there is always a possibility where radical healing is possible. And this doesn't just have to be about physical ailments either. This can be something like, maybe there are little hiccups, maybe your plant has a little brown spot on one of its leaves, okay? Maybe something is not growing the way you want it to in life, in any area of life. And typically, it's not the fact that there's something wrong with the plant. Typically, it needs new soil, or a little more water or a little less water. Maybe it needs a little more or less sunlight. And you are the same exact way. Your spirit is the same way, your energy is the same way, and this is where we're able to find, perhaps they're showing me in Ayurveda the doshas, you're able to find is something really, really like hot and flowy, like molten lava? Well, that's pitta. That's fire and water. That is that element of like lava. And so what you might want is a little bit of kapha, because we have water and air. So it's going to cool that down, slow it down a little bit, and give you a little bit more like cold, wet energy. And from there, you might get a little bit damp. And that's where you'll want to tap in with vata, the air and space. And finding that flow that brings things back to center, back to balance, because it's not always you have to rip something off like a band-aid. Something's hot, then you want cold. Something's cold, then you want hot. Sometimes it's not just here's an obstacle, here's the opposite of that, let me transmute it. Sometimes it is, how can I find that sextile energy, that trine energy? How can I find that shift of perspective? That's not a square, it's not a 180, but it might just be what you're looking for. And it might be something that is considered lucky or magical or miraculous or radical, I'm laughing because I said radical. And so you're being encouraged to understand that your soul is coming of age now. When it comes to being a nurturer, a caretaker of yourself, of the universe, and it's reminding me of this intention card that I have on my affirmations deck. And it says that there is, I take care of my planet the way that I take care of my home. I take care of myself the way I take care of my home. I take care of whatever home means to you. And it's kind of this beautiful energy here of your body is your home. So listen to what it needs. Your body talks, meditation helps. Maybe your physical home. Maybe you're a little bit feeling stuffy. Maybe you feel a little bit of musty energy. Maybe you need to air out the space, the air in your home. Maybe you need to clean up some of the dust corners, go through your closet. And this can be energetically too. Maybe you have a little clutter corner and maybe you're feeling it in your aura, unconsciously or maybe very consciously. There are little shifts and changes that we can make in order to open up our path, open up what is possible. And so what your soul is activating right now is understanding the medicine that is required or would be helpful in any given situation. And don't forget that breath work is medicine. Sun is medicine. Water is medicine. Don't forget the basic medicines of the earth. They are the elements. It is the earth. It is everything that is already provided for us. And anything that is technologically fancy from there is beautiful and helpful and certainly amazing. But don't forget the fact that you already have everything that you need and you always will. And that might be part of this mindset shift too. Going from perhaps lack mindset to abundance mindset. Going from, did you know that in your subconscious mind, you have a blueprint of what it means to have a healthy mind, body, and spirit? You already have all of the blueprints laid out for you. So which timeline do you select? Which subconscious belief system are you choosing to draw forward into your conscious mind? It might take a little bit of work. You might see some little hiccups of things that want to get processed, recycled, or removed from your energy field in the process. But that is exactly how we shift our energy. That is exactly how we make those changes. That's exactly how we be the change that we want to see in the world. That's how we take care of our planet like it's our home. That's how we take care of our bodies, our soul, like it is our home. So what your soul is activating, the first message coming out, is trusting in your own knowing what you need. Trusting that you know what you need. Interesting. Okay, and there's also this kind of authoritative energy that's coming out with the Queen of Swords, trusting that you know your stuff is something too. Trusting that you have enough information, you have enough skill, you have good enough boundaries, you know what you need, you know how to communicate your needs, okay? And we have Judgment with the Moon. What is your soul activating, group number 4? What is group number 4's soul activating? What is coming online? We have the King of Wands. This is all spiritual, okay? This is all understanding, perhaps alchemy, communicating your understanding of alchemy, writing down your understanding of alchemy. What you are activating right now is a deeper depth, a deeper layer to what it means to activate yourself. Perhaps you feel perfectly healthy. Perhaps you get a blood test or you get your vitals checked and everything is just perfectly normal, but you're able to pick up on maybe something in your energy field that might stem from a subtle vibration around you and that causes you to change your environment. Maybe it's little things like your doctor might tell you you're perfectly healthy if you're drinking only 4 or 5 times a week. And maybe that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't resonate with you anymore. This can be you knowing what is healthy for you and letting that shift and change as your energy shifts and change. Sometimes, every individual, sometimes you might want to perhaps eat meat, sometimes you might not. Sometimes you might want to save money, sometimes you might want to spend it. Sometimes you might want to fast, other times you might want to make sure you're eating well. And this is really letting you know that you have the tools that you need, you have the knowledge and the spiritual awareness that you need in order to make, like I'm hearing call accurate shots, to call the shots, to make accurate predictions, in order to make the correct choice that is the most spiritually aligned and to be so spiritually awakened that you're making the correct choice. this is what is coming online for you. And we have the Six of Cups. This is something that you've always had access to in some way, shape, or form. And when it's activating, what we really mean is that it's coming online and it's coming to the forefront of your energies, perhaps drawing itself back from that subconscious blueprint into your conscious mind. And we have the Devil. Is this Delulu, or am I really experiencing these? Okay. When that happens, that means that there is either a conflict in your environment or in your mental framework. Okay. So when we have this, come back to love, because the Devil is really a distorted version of love. So what you want to do is find that purity. Okay, find that purity and find that shift, because that Devil with the Moon here, it's, well, if I open up those emotions, well, if I open up that spiritual gift, if I express that truth, if I let myself balance this out, if I stand in my power, whatever it is, understanding that this is not a blockage, it's a traffic cone. Understanding that it's not a very huge permanent problem forever. It's water or fire or earth or water, or I think I said water twice, or air or spirit. Now come to think of it too, water was the overlapping element that I spoke of in the beginning when I was mentioning the doshas. Water is the one element that overlaps, so that can be significant for you too. We have the Moon deep diving with Pisces coming out. This can have to do with expressing yourself creatively. Oh, I can't dive into that. Oh, that's unhealthy for me to explore. Oh, I can't do that. You are the one that knows. You are the one that knows what's best for you. You're the one that knows what's healthy for you. And yes, you have the information that you need. What's activating is this realization that perhaps what you were taught in your childhood versus what you felt was true in your childhood were not the same thing. And understanding that there's a reason, judgment and justice out here, there's a reason that you were put in one scenario with the truth of another scenario, because those two things are meant to alchemize together. And with water, the element of flow, right, the element of intuition and of emotion, you're meant to feel your way through this, because regardless of where you are, what you're doing, there's always something to learn. There's always something good. You can be bumping up to every single traffic cone, but every traffic cone has a tidbit. Every traffic cone has a lesson. Everyone has its own personality. The light's bouncing off of it a little bit differently, literally. So with that being said, what you're activating right now is utilizing all of those perspectives that you've gained from bumping into your miscellaneous little traffic cones and obstacles and blockages and things, and you're finding that core. You're like chiseling it out. And in that, it's like you've certainly lived enough life. You've certainly learned your stuff. You've certainly gone through enough lessons, taken enough classes. You've certainly meditated enough. You've certainly, whatever it is, you certainly know what you're doing. And we have the Eight of Wands with the Ace of Wands. This has a lot to do with speaking. We have green and blue. We have the Queen of Swords, first card out. We have Page of Swords, learning, teaching, social media. Okay. Eight of Wands, Ace of Wands. This is communication of progression and spiritual enlightenment, realization, creative accountability, creative ability. And we do have some like sacral energies coming out here too. The Ace of Wands, Eight of Wands, and the Devil with the Moon. It's kind of a little bit tantric. And it's also causing me to explore gently here that the way that Tantra is typically taught, what you might think Tantra is, like just from a surface level perspective, might not actually be the yogic perspective of what it truly is. Okay, because the physical sensual parts of it are the smallest, barely even a part of it. And it is, in fact, the least important part of this. There are things like this, where you're noticing that there are certain traffic cones that might be in your life, that might be in perhaps the collective, that might be in your community, that might be in your environment. And what it's causing you to do is shift accordingly. But you are not a shapeshifter. You have a core center. And that is what's activating in your soul right now. It is that you've shifted this, you folded this way, and you are like folding every corner intuitively to make your own little origami thing. And you find out what origami shape you are. And it's not by letting yourself become a result of your environment, it's by letting yourself understand, oh, that is weird, so this one's right. Okay, this one resonates, this one is right. It's following your intuition, because the traffic cone had the light refracting off of it this way. And this one taught you about this, and it kind of caused you to think about that thing, and this thing, and that thing, and this thing, and then you have a mandala. And you're able to read mandalas. So there's this energy of your soul activating your voice and your emotions, perhaps the emotions behind your voice, expressing what your emotions are, expressing the things that you might not normally express, or even expressing ways in your family or in your community that might not be necessarily what is expected of you. There are certain things in life that seem to not even be polar opposites, but just present friction. They're showing me two zodiac signs that are directly next to each other. And the reason why there's usually friction in between those two is because they are overlapping the same lesson, but coming from different perspectives, but they're both traveling in the same way, in the same direction. So they're both learning the same lessons, but from a different perspective. And so there's always this one where it's like, well, no, because they're closer to this one and this one's closer to that energy. But at the end of the day, they're fighting over the same thing. It's like, is it tomato or is it tomato? Either way, it's a red thing and we know what the plant is, right? And so it's kind of showing this energy where you're able to take the best attributes of both and dissolve that friction and find that core lesson in the center. Find that core version in the center. Find what it is that you need. Find the common point. Oh, I need to dust my windowsills. Oh, I need a humidifier in my room. Oh, I need to stretch a little bit more. Oh, I need to add some turmeric to my oat milk in the morning. Okay, little things like this. And being able to express this, trust that you know what you know. Trust in your spiritual guidance. Trust in this to create a foundation for you. What your soul is activating right now, group number 4, is the ability to be comfortable within your body, within your planet, within your home, knowing that it is fine, it is yours, and not worrying about the external perspective of it. Because you've learned all of the external perspectives to the point where you know for certain what your home is. You know for certain what goes inside your home. You know for certain the difference between what it looks like inside your home and outside your home. And I mean your planet, I mean your body, I mean your energy field, I mean your house, right? So what you're activating is this understanding that if someone points at something green and they call it orange, you're able to identify the fact that, no, you know that's green. You've lived your entire life with that being green, and it's someone walking around calling it orange doesn't automatically make it orange. Or, alternatively, you know for a fact that something is green, but you had to learn a million lessons, and you kept getting it beaten in, no, this is green. Dang it. And someone else comes along and say, oh, no, remember, that one's pink, remember? And you're saying, no, it's green. You learned that. You made sure. The universe made sure you learned that was green. Someone coming along saying, oh, wait, well, what if it's pink? This is that, no. Maybe it's pink to them. Maybe it's pink to you. Maybe it's green to you and it's pink to them. That is not what matters. That is the friction. What matters is the fact that you trust your internal guidance. And when you have these energies, they're kind of giving like an illusion to maybe energies that are trying to throw you off track. And I'm not saying that they're like bad energies or anything like this around you. I'm saying like maybe you get a cough and you start freaking out about your health, when in reality the temperature was 2 degrees too cold for 1 day too long inside your house, and you can just click that notch down a little bit, drink some tea, and give your body some rest. Or you can focus on the cough and say there's a cough and so there's a problem, and you can tug on that thread, and that is where we get this perceived blockage. And what you're activating is seeing opportunities for wellness and health and growth and abundance and expansion in all areas of life. So when you have a spiritual truth and you're, oh, that doesn't make sense, my brain, allow it to open up. Say, okay, well, I can look at this. My brain says this, and my intuition is saying this. Now, clearly, we know by now we trust the intuition and we trust the heart. We have heart-mind coherence. So when one of those 3 points is off, we have 2 more to bounce it off of. And we can always do the work mentally to learn what it is that we're confused about, or we can do the work intuitively through meditation, through inward diving, in order to understand what our heart is trying to tell us, why we feel certain ways, why we're receiving certain intuition, why we're receiving certain downloads, why we think a certain way too. And here we have this illusion back to the childhood, being taught something that was exactly probably the opposite, or just the friction perspective of something that's actually true for you as an individual. And this can be something as silly as people who read tarot cards worship the devil and have not found Jesus, when I personally know a handful of tarot readers that read staring the big guys in the face, you know? There are examples of this in all of life. And what's important is that you are honoring your heart, your intuition, and your mind, and that the 3 are together. So what you are activating is, in a sense, heart-mind coherence and finding that perfect medicine to any situation. And this always helps by setting a system. Look at the chakra systems, see what comes up. If you don't use the chakras or you do that every day, it's getting a little boring. use the zodiacs. Okay, you can go work your way through the zodiacs. You can work your way through the planets. You can balance your chakras, balance your zodiac signs. You can balance the elements within your body, balance the directions, balance the front of your body with the back and the right and the left. There are a literal myriad of ways for you to balance this out. You can journal it out. You can talk to someone about it, go to therapy. You can meditate your way around it. You can do some yoga. You can access it through your mind, through your body, through your spirit, through anything in between. We are such amazing beings that when you have something going on in your mind, you can meditate on it. Or when you're having a hard time processing trauma, you can stretch out your hips or your glutes. And it's not to say that one size fits all. It's quite literally to say the opposite. And that you've tried on enough sizes to know what size you are. And you've even worn that tape measure around your waist for clarity's sake. So when someone comes around and they're telling you that you are a green number 8 and you know for a fact that you are a pink number 12, you already know. And that is okay. So what you're activating is a deeper sense of connection with yourself, but it's also this energy where you're able to almost pivot regardless of what's going on, and it's kind of leading you back towards center. They're showing me the Fibonacci spiral, the Fibonacci sequence, and this is, yes, a 3-to-1 ratio, but it is also a 3.5 spirals, 3.5. 3 is the amount of loops it takes to get to the center, and that half is the time you break the cycle, and that's the center. And this is when something is magnetic and it's working its way inwards towards the center, or when something is electric and it's doing the same thing and it's electrifying its way towards the outside. Okay? So they're showing me this as a basic pattern for what you're activating right now. And you might be able to apply this pattern to many things in your life. For example, the phrase 3 times the charm. There's a reason for that old wives' tale, right? There's a reason why you can find thumbprint in a plant, and a plant in the atom, and an atom in the foundation of the universe. There's a reason why atom and atom go together. ATOM and ADAM. There's a reason for literally everything. And so, as you are finding out those little bits and pieces that make you, you are allowing yourself to be individual. And that's what you're activating, in a stronger sense of the term. Because there is one thing that no other particle in the entire multiverse, multi-dimensional, multi-universal, multiversal scheme of existence and consciousness has, and that is being you. And you are tapped in with source, you are tapped in with everything and everyone all the time, but you alone are the protector, the provider, the knower, the learner, the seeker, the deep diver of your own set of particles, your own individuality. So when it comes to identifying that your cough is because it was 2 degrees too cold in that room, and not because it's the end of the world and you need to go to the hospital right now, there's kind of that shift, that ability to know that, well, maybe you should just kind of leave that room because the energy's a little bit off, or maybe you should wear a beanie when you go out to protect your crown, right? Or perhaps when somebody says something to you and they're calling the sky yellow, and you're like, well, is it sunrise or sunset? Because I'm looking at it being blue, and I can explain that it's because of the reflection from the ocean. And honestly, why are we picking at straws? It's like this. It's allowing yourself not to get distracted by the traffic cones, and merely understand that that's what they are. And that there's never an obstacle in your path, in your energy. There's never a blockage in your path, in your energy, because energy cannot stop. We look at matter, and it is merely slowly vibrating particles that are put together. Even matter is energy. So when you feel like you have a blockage in your energy field, I mean, people have telekinesis. With practice, you could tap into this crystal and dissolve all of its particles and disperse them into other parts of the universe and rearrange it. True energetic alchemy. So, when you see a crystal, and it is supposed to help you with something or represent a certain energy point or help you with something, this is a culmination of energies that are meant to serve a particular purpose. Just like you are, just like turning down that degrees a couple notch in your apartment, just like that cough. Everything, even those traffic cones, they're meant to serve a purpose. It is not that there is something wrong, it's not that there's an obstacle, it's not that there's a blockage, it is that there is something to learn, an opportunity, or a new vantage point to be had. And so, what you're activating is having a 360 perspective. And I say that's kind of two-dimensional, having like more of a spherical or more, I guess, gyroscopical perspective. So that's all I have for you, group number 4. That is what your soul is currently activating. If you want to see what you're currently expanding, go look at Monica's reading down at Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. You can find her link down in the description box. If you like this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and I love what I do so very much. I love connecting with you guys, and this just makes my whole world, so I appreciate the connection so much. As always, I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. I'm sending you all of the love, light, and gratitude. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Namaste.